Hi, today I'd like to share with you the recipe and tying of a simple suggestive sculpin pattern. It's not realistic, it's suggestive. It's been very effective for me in the spring creeks and driftless area. This is tied on size 12 to 16, anywhere from 12, 14, or 16 sized hook. If you can get the upturned eye, that's even better. Normally I tie this on olive thread, 6/0, okay? But for demonstration purposes today, I'm going to be tying it on dark brown 3/0 thread. It's easier to see, okay? Again, very simple materials, easy tie. I normally fish this behind a pheasant tail or a pink squirrel underneath an indicator, and just nymph fish it, and it works very well for me. So hope it works well for you guys too. But here's the tying. It's very simple. So we begin tying in the thread, and you want to make sure this is very secure because we're going to be tying in dumbbell eyes, the bead chain dumbbell eyes. Okay. Now about halfway back, come back. Make sure this really doesn't move. You don't want your bead chain eyes to spin. If it makes you feel better, just a spot of super glue there, and that's enough just to make sure the thread doesn't go anywhere. Okay, now we tie in the bead chain eyes. Okay, and we want this 1, 2, 3. Make it nice and tight. Come the other way. 1, 2, 3. Make sure that's even. Okay, and you want a little space between the eye of the hook and the bead chain because we're going to be wrapping stuff in there. One more, and then let's lock this in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure it's nice and straight. Okay, there we go. That's not going anywhere. Now wrap this all the way to the bend of the hook. Okay, here we're only going to use 2 feathers. Okay, these are, what are these called? Grizzly. Okay, natural grizzly soft hackle. Some people call it grizzly marabou. I've seen it under different names, but it's basically the same thing. You see, I have one thinner feather, one thicker feather as far as width. Okay, we're gonna start with the thinner one because I want that for a tail. Yeah, I'm gonna see where the color starts to fade, okay, and strip that. So let me just strip that a little bit here. Okay, it just ties in so much easier when you strip the fibers off. Okay, so it looks like that. We're stripped. Okay, clean that up a little bit. Now we're gonna lay that down. Okay, you notice because I'm tying this way, I'm gonna lay this feather towards me. Okay, and I'm gonna turn the feather, tilt it a little bit towards me, so when the rotation of the wrap goes, it'll bring the feather just straight. Start 1, 2, 3. Bring this back up now, and it's sitting nice, sitting very nicely. Okay, oh, starting to move. Okay, and now to be safe, okay, well, I'm going to take this all the way up to the dumbbell eyes. I'm going to lay this back, I'm going to bend it back and come back around because I want this to be very secure. Trout do yank on these tails quite a bit, especially if you accidentally get this downstream of you, they'll grab the tail, so you want this secure. I've had more than a few tails pull out before I started doubling things back. Now we're just going to go with our ice dub minnow body. Like I said, this is a really simple pattern, very simple. We're just gonna roll that around. Let me work this thread back to where I need it, all the way to the tail. Okay, basically to where the barb used to be. And I'm just gonna roll this into the thread, spin it in, push it all the way up. Okay, spin it some more, and begin wrapping this up all the way to the head. Okay, there, that part's done. That's easy. Now we just need this. I'm gonna try to find the bitter end of the tail here. Okay, bitter end. Gonna tie this in. Come on, there we go. Wrap the thread forward to the eye. Now we're gonna take this and we're gonna palmer this one just like this. Okay, a few times behind the dumbbell eyes. Try to get as many as you can. You see, I'm trying to bend these things back so I don't trap. And I'm gonna just keep wrapping this hackle here like this until I start running out of color a little bit. Okay, I'm starting to run out of color. So now the next wraps are going to be around the eyes. Just like this. I'm cross wrapping it around the eyes. Now in front of the eyes, that's why we need that extra space. I'm gonna use the thread, trap this. Okay, one more time. Okay, now I'm gonna fold this back, run this around like this. 1, 2, cut off the feather. Be careful just get the spine of the feather, nothing else. Okay, now before we tie anything off, wet, pull back these feathers. It's a little bit easier to work with them. Okay, tie this. Now just quickly half hitch. I crowded my eye just a little bit, but it'll still be okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then one more. I always do 2 sets of half hitches because I hate these things coming out. 2, 3. Good. Form my V, pull it up tight, there. Then you finish off with just a spot of glue. Zap-A-Gap works just fine too. Okay, that's it. Just let it dry. That's the finished product. Okay, it's short. You have this tail that really has a lot of motion in the water. Okay, and it rides along the bottom just fine. These bead chain eyes really help the hook eye stay upright, and it comes through a surprising lot of snags without getting hit. Especially these feathers, I don't know, for some reason, just this does not snag a lot. It does snag sometimes if you bring it through really terrible stuff, but in general, this is a really nice fly for dragging bottom. This has been a great fly for me, so I hope it works well for a lot of you too. Okay, cheers.